am back with another video on Parents and Grandparents PR Program 2021. Today's video is a step-by-step guide for how to complete IMM 1344, which is Application to Sponsor, Sponsorship Agreement and Undertaking, and IMM 5768, which is Financial Evaluation for Parents and Grandparents Sponsorship. These two forms must be completed by the sponsor. If you are interested, stay tuned. Hello everyone, welcome to Canadian Charisma. Hope you all doing great and staying safe. If you are new here, I provide information and free advice about Canadian immigration and help people to apply for Canada PR, which can save them a lot of money. Without a further delay, let's start today's video. Let's start with IMM 1344, Application to Sponsor, Sponsorship Agreement and Undertaking. This form need to be filled by the sponsor, the person who wants to invite or sponsor their parents or grandparents. How to download this form in your computer, I already told in my previous video. You can go watch that if you need help with that. So first question is, if you are found ineligible to sponsor, indicate whether you want to withdraw your application or you want to proceed with the application. So in case if you do not meet the sponsorship requirements, then there is no benefit to proceed with your application. Then you can say withdraw your sponsorship application. If you choose this option, they will just take out $75 processing fees and they will refund all your fees. But if you choose this option, your application will get refused. Then you will get only $550 back per person. Second question is, language preferred for correspondence, obviously English or French. Is there co-signer on this application? If you and your spouse or partner is both signing that application, then you can say yes, otherwise no. Question number 4, person you are sponsoring means principal applicant. So as I told in my previous video, one of the parent can be a principal applicant. So you need to provide the information about principal applicant here. So in my case, suppose the family name, the surname is Brown and the given name is Jack. But if on your passport there is no family name, only the given name there like Jack Brown, then what you can do, just leave the given name blank here and write Jack Brown in family name. Then date of birth of the principal applicant. Then the principal applicant and the sponsor relationship, you can choose one of the option here, so like is parent. And then these two questions are not for parents application, so you can just leave them. Next, sponsor's personal detail. Now you need to fill the information about the person sponsor who lives in Canada and want to sponsor their parents. So again, the same rule applies to the sponsor's name. If you have on your passport both the family name and given name, that's right, you can write it like that. Otherwise, you can write full name in the family name and leave the given name blank again. Have you ever used any other nickname? You can say yes if you used, and you can provide that name here. Otherwise, say no. Then you need to provide about your gender, male, female, date of birth of the sponsor, place of birth and country of birth. Next is status in Canada. You can choose permanent resident if you are permanent resident. Otherwise, you can choose if you are citizen now, so you can choose neutralized Canadian citizen, this option here. After that, you need to provide the date on which you became a permanent resident or a Canadian citizen, and then you need to provide here your PR card number or citizen certificate, your UCI number here. After that, full name at the time you became a permanent resident. If it is different than the name you have now, then you can say same as your current full name. You can say no and provide the name here. Otherwise, say yes, that my name was the same as I have now. Then you no need to provide other information here. Your current marital status, question number 8. Married, unmarried accordingly. If you are married, then you need to provide your date of marriage, and then you need to provide your spouse's name. Again, same rule. If you have given name or family name, write them like that. Otherwise, whole name in under the family name and leave the given name blank. Question number 9, have you previously been married or in common law relationship? So have you previously been married before this marriage? Then you need to provide the information about that. You can say yes, and then you provide the name of that spouse or common law partner, date of birth, relationship, spouse or common law partner, from which date to which date. you need to provide that information here, otherwise you can say no. Next is sponsor's contact information. So first you need to provide your current mailing address, you need to provide street name, apartment, box number, whatever you have, so full address, your mailing address. If your residential address and current mailing address same, you can say yes here, then you no need to provide anything here. If your current mailing address and the residential address is not same, then you can say no here and provide your residential address here. Then you need to provide your cell number. One is compulsory, alternative is not compulsory. If you have one another one you can provide, if you have fax number you can provide, otherwise leave them blank. Next is email address. You can provide your email address here, that's really good because they can contact you very easily through email. Next is sponsored residency declaration. So you have to be in Canada, living in Canada to sponsor your parents and grandparents. That's why if they are asking are you a Canadian citizen living exclusively outside Canada, you have to answer no to this question, and then this automatically disable bottom one. Next one is sponsored eligibility assessment. So you need to be very careful answering these all questions. As you can see, sponsor who reside or intend to reside in Quebec need not to complete question number 8, 9, 10 or 15. If you are living in Quebec right now, you no need to answer question number 8, 9, 10 or 15. Next is if you answer no to any question from 1 to 4, then you are not eligible to sponsor anyone, then you should not submit your application. But we can read this question. So are you 18 years of age? You need to say yes. Are you a Canadian citizen or permanent resident? Yes. Are you sponsoring a member of family class or member of spouse or common law partner in Canada? Family class means parents. Say yes. Do you reside in Canada and in no other country? Say yes. So that's why you need to say yes to this question. So here they say that if you answer yes to question number 5, that this is in case of if you are sponsoring your spouse. So here we are filling the application for parents and grandparents. Does not matter if you answer yes or no, but read the question and answer accordingly. Question number 6, if you answer yes to any question from 6 to 15, you may not eligible to sponsor. That's right, you can read this question and answer accordingly, but in most cases these all answers are no. You can just read them one by one and answer them accordingly, but I would say they will, all of them will know. Then next is co-signer's personal detail. If you have a co-signer, means you husband and wife both are signing the application, then one of them is co-signer. So here you need to provide the information about co-signer. Again, co-signer's name you need to provide accordingly. Same rules applies, family name or given name. Have you ever used any other nickname? Then you need to provide information here, gender information here, date of birth, place of birth, country of birth, status in Canada, same, permanent resident or naturalized Canadian citizen, one of them, and then date of that citizenship or permanent residence, and then your client ID here, full name at the time you became the permanent resident. Again, if it's the same you can say yes. If you say no, you need to provide your full name here. Relationship to sponsor, so why we need to choose there, you could be a common law partner or others something, so you can say spouse here or common law partner, choose accordingly. And then current marital status, it will choose automatically just married, and date of marriage here. After that, provide the name of your current spouse or common law partner. It will appear automatically here because you already provided that. Have you previously been married or in common law relationship? Same question. If you, then you can say yes and provide the information, otherwise no. After that, co-signer's contact information, same, you need to provide phone number and email address. If you have alternative number and fax number, you can provide that. Again, co-signer's residency declaration, same, you need to say no to be eligible to apply for your to be a co-signer, because you have to be live in Canada for that. And the co-signer's eligibility assessment, same, you need to answer these questions very clearly. First 3 questions you need to answer yes, it should be yes. I will not say that you need to, because you need to read the question and answer accordingly. And again, other questions will be no in many of the cases. Just read these questions carefully and answer them. If one of any question is yes, you need to provide the explanation here. So that's how you will complete this form, and after that when you finish this form, just go at very bottom or top and click on validate button. You have to have validate the form, so it will give you a message that validation completed successfully. If you have any mistake, you left any column, it will give you a message here that you need to provide this information, and then you can go back, correct that information and validate again. So now if you validate this form, now you can go down and you can see here a barcode page is generated, and you have to have submit this page with the application. After that you will print this form, and then on this page here, sponsor need to signature and put the date, then co-signer need to signature and date, and then the principal applicant need to signature and date, and this must be done by hand. You cannot do it online. So that's how you can complete IMM 1344 form. Next form is 5768, financial evaluation for parents and grandparents sponsorship. This form need to be completed by sponsor and the co-signer, and need to signed by sponsor and the co-signer with hand. First question is your spouse or common law partner co-signing the undertaking? So if yes, you can say yes, otherwise no. Full name of your spouse or common law partner means the who is the main sponsor, full name of the main sponsor spouse, which could be the co-signer too. So you need to provide family name and given name. Again, if you do not have family name on your passport, you can write full name here in the family name. Date of birth the spouse. Then sponsor's full name here, family name and given name. Down there, your family members and person included in undertakings in effect or not yet in effect signed by you, and if applicable, your co-signer. So you need to answer. Actually, here they are calculating your family members. So they consider one that you as you, and then current undertaking. Right now, how many people you are sponsoring? If you are sponsoring a single parent, you can write one here. Otherwise, if you are sponsoring both the parents, and if they have any dependent children with them, accordingly you can answer 2 or 3 here. Next, previous undertaking. If you sponsored someone else before, that's you need to answer here. So first it is, this is all about the main sponsor. Number of the person included in previous undertaking you signed as a sponsor. If you sponsored someone else before, suppose you invited your parents before and now you want to sponsor your grandparents, so you can see right here to your both the parents here you sponsored before, or single parent or grandparent you sponsored before, otherwise just leave it blank. Number of person included in previous undertaking you signed as a sponsor that are not yet in effect. If you signed someone's application and the final decision hasn't made on that application, so if you signed for someone sponsorship application but final decision has not made, you can write how many members you, for how many members you signed, otherwise leave it blank. Number of persons included in previous undertaking you co-signed where these undertakings are still in effect. Suppose you co-signed for your spouse parents, so you can write that here. Suppose you write one parent or both the parents, how many members you already co-signed, and that is still in effect means they already got PR and the undertaking is still in effect for 20 years now. So you can write how many members you co-signed here, otherwise leave it blank. And number of person including in previous undertaking you co-signed where these undertakings are not yet in effect. Suppose you signed your spouse parents application as co-signer, but the final decision hasn't made on that application. So how many members you already co-signed but their undertaking is not yet in effect. So you can write that many members here, otherwise leave it blank. So I just wrote here 1. Next is complete this section only if your spouse or common law partner is co-signing the undertaking. So this you need to complete if your spouse is co-signing the application. So number of person including in previous undertaking your spouse common law partner signed as a sponsor and that are still in effect. So same you need to read these questions here. If your spouse signed as a sponsor. Suppose your spouse already invited his or her parents, so then he was or she was the main sponsor that time, and the sponsorship is still in effect. You're gonna write how many members here, and the number of persons included in a previous undertaking your spouse or common law partner signed as a sponsor and that are not yet in effect. Again, the application is in process and a decision is not made yet for your spouse, parents or grandparents. So you can write how many members in that undertaking already sponsored, and if your spouse co-signed any application and is still in effect, or co-signed an application which is not in effect yet, so you can write that members here. So question number 5, your spouse or common law partner if not included in 3 above. So if you go here, you provide information about only the parents you are sponsoring now, and here only you, so you haven't provided any information about your spouse here. Then you can write about your spouse here, and if they said like if they are not co-signing the information undertaking form, you can provide the information. We will provide it on the bottom page. And then every other family member not included above and dependent on you financially, whether they are living with you or not. So if you have any dependent children, or then you can write about them. So suppose you have 2 children, you can write here, and here they calculate automatically that how many family members you have in total. Suppose if I'm changing here, suppose like 1 kid, and when you go there it calculate automatically, it's a 7 now. So you can do like this. Question number 7, you no need to do anything, they will calculate it by themselves. You can save the form and complete it later. So let's go to question number 8, sponsor statement of the consent. In this here the main sponsor is giving the permission to IRCC that they can get their financial information from CRA directly. You gonna say yes here. If the sponsor say no here, then sponsor need to provide IMM 5748 form. This form need to fill out and provide to the immigration IRCC. So that's why always say yes, because this is very correct information they can get directly from CRA. Because if you are saying no and you are filling out the 5748 form, it can delay the processing of your application. So select yes here and then provide your SIN number here, leave the signature and date for later on. And then move to question number 9, details of your family members and persons included in undertaking in effect or not yet in effect signed by you, and if applicable your co-signer. Here you need to provide that all information. So first you need to provide the who you sponsored before and they are still in effect. You're gonna write the family name, given name and the date of birth. Family name, given name, date of birth. If you sponsored someone and the application is still in process, decision has not made yet, you can provide that information here. You co-signed someone, you can provide that information here. You co-signed what is decision has not made yet on their application, you provide that information in this box here. And the question number 10, complete this section only if your spouse or common law partner is co-signing the undertaking. So this section has same questions for your co-signer, for your spouse. You can provide that details here. Question number 11, your spouse or common law partner if they are not signing the undertaking, then you need to provide your spouse family name and given name and date of birth here. Here you need to provide the information about your other dependents for your children, so you can provide their family name, given name and date of birth here, provide that information here. Question number 13, your current situation. Check the box below which best describe your current situation. You are unemployed, employed or self-employed. Suppose I am saying I am employed. Question number 14, you need to provide your employment history from last 3 years. What you need to do, you need to provide information about all the time. Even if you get unemployed in between, you need to provide that information too. So don't leave gaps in between. Make sure you provide the information from 1st January 2018 to present now. So then you have full year 2018, 19 and 20 at least. So start with the present. Suppose I started my this job in 2018 May 1st. Till present I am working with this employer on this address, on this phone number, and this was my so far gross income from that employer. for that period of time. How you can calculate your income? You can get your 2018 T4 slip, you can get your 2019 notice of assessment or T4, 2020's T4, and then for this year 2021 you can just include your pay stubs for that and calculate that all here and write the numbers here. And then you can write your family size include you, your spouse, your kids, and if you sponsored someone before, if you have undertaking of someone before, that's what you need to provide here. Here you can see that I am writing that I was working with this employer from 2016 to 2018. Why I wrote this? Because 2018 was not full here, just I already 4 months missing there. So with this employer, so I will write about the previous employer here. So that's what you can provide the information here. If you was unemployed in between, you can do that. So you need to start from the recent one to old one, going that way. That's how you're gonna complete the question number 14. Next is about your spouse. You need to provide the same information about your spouse, your cosigner, employment, unemployment, you need to choose there. Again, cosigner should say yes to this question to avoid the delays. If cosigner said no, then they need to fill out IMM 5748. If they say yes, that's right, and after that provide the SIN number and again leave the signature and date for later. Question number 17, same employment history for the cosigner. Provide the employment history with income and family size here, and that's how you will complete this form. After completing this form, print it out and then sponsor need to signature and date the form here with hand in question number 8, and cosigner need to date and signature the form here in question number 16 with hand. Once you completed, signed and dated these forms, what you need to do, you need to scan them and they can upload in a given intake in your parents and grandparents account. I will be back very soon with the rest of the forms that need to be completed by the principal applicant and dependents. Until then, if you have any question, please feel free to leave me a comment below, DM me on Instagram or email me on canadiancharisma@yahoo.com. I will try my best to answer you as soon as possible. See you soon. Till then, stay safe, stay connected, stay positive. Thanks for watching this video.